The legal battle continues between landowners and the developers behind the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project. That's a controversial 70-mile transmission line spanning 3 Maryland counties. A judge will soon decide whether PSEG can send environmental surveyors onto private property as farmers and homeowners push back. Fox 45's Jessica Babb has been following this story since the beginning and walks us through how we got here.
As the energy crisis looms over Maryland, the state is caught at a crossroads, keeping the lights on while balancing the needs and rights of residents.
You don't understand Maryland people.
It's our property rights and our, way of life, being at risk.
At the federal courthouse in Baltimore, it's a controversy playing out in real time.
The larger issue here is why should Marylanders have to give up their private property to enrich a New Jersey utility to further enrich data centers in Virginia? And we say no.
Take your power station and go to West Virginia.
Hundreds of residents in Baltimore, Carroll, and Frederick County saying no to a proposed 67-mile high-voltage transmission line. And they're saying no to a lawsuit where the developers are trying to access private property along the route.
People across Maryland know this project will not serve Maryland, and if we need to stand in the way, then we'll continue to stand in the way.
The developers' Public Service Enterprise Group say without the transmission line up and running by June 2027, the electric grid could be at risk, and residents could see rolling brownouts and blackouts. Attorneys for PSEG describe a grim outlook as the demand for electricity continues to grow, especially since Maryland already imports about 40% of its energy from other states.
The bottom line is the energy outlook in the state of Maryland is dire.
We believe that in order to maintain a reliable grid, new infrastructure in this state is desperately needed.
But since PSEG acknowledges data centers are driving the demand, residents like Charlie Bond, who argue the line won't benefit Maryland, are now watching and waiting.
They're asking for something really aggressive here that's beyond really what should be granted to a private company.
They appreciate me and I appreciate them.
Farmers like Melvin Bale Jr.
If I don't have the land, I'm not a farmer. In the traditional sense, and the way that I've it's my life, and without the land, it's destroying it. The family farm has been the farm has been the family name for 95 years.
Say the transmission project traipsing through threatens their land and livelihood.
There's so many issues that I'm very concerned about that I don't see how they can mitigate. If it was going to benefit the greater community, the good of the greater community, I would understand that, but it doesn't. This would not be needed without the data centers.
Governor Wes Moore last year voicing his grave concerns.
I still am not certain what the benefit is to Marylanders, and I'm going to stand with the people on this.
So how did we get to this point where it could be argued a transmission line could make it or break it for Maryland? For years, state leaders have been focused on creating clean and renewable energy, reducing emissions, and making sure more electric vehicles hit the road, passing the Climate Solutions Now Act in 2022. But with renewables like solar only producing a small fraction of the state's energy. Now that coal plants want to close, there's simply not enough energy to go around.
We don't have our own power in the state for the most part. That's what's killing us all. It sounded good in the campaign. Oh, by 2030, we're going to be all renewable. But the fact of it is they had no way of doing it.
The state's dire outlook leading to higher energy costs, with residents seeing their energy bills dramatically rise.
It's like making a decision of, do I eat or do I pay my bills, So I got to eat to live, but I also need a roof over my head.
It becomes debilitating.
Prompting leaders to take action.
We have to provide a path towards more Maryland-made energy.
But now that the legislative session has officially wrapped up, many Democrats are touting the new energy policies just signed into law.
This year we passed the most substantive energy affordability package that Maryland has seen in several decades.
While Senate President Bill Ferguson says they'll accelerate the development of cleaner in-state energy, make sure data centers pay their fair share, provide a path forward for battery and energy storage, and provide relief to ratepayers.
It represents a real missed opportunity.
Republicans argue it doesn't go far enough to address the root cause of the crisis.
There's been a couple things in those bills that may be somewhat helpful in getting long-term more energy generation in the nuclear space, but for the most part, it was a lot more of the giveaways to the solar industry and really very little, if any, progress on bringing natural gas energy production back in the state that will really actually help solve our energy production shortage.
And even though Governor Wes Moore agrees we need to improve the state's energy planning process, he just vetoed 2 bills that could lead to more of that comprehensive planning. One of the bills was designed to study the impacts of data centers.
I'm very disappointed. I think it was a very important bill. In fact, I identified it as my most important bill of the session. Frederick County is going to be the home for data center development, and I fully support that, but we need to get it right. We need to really quantify the numbers and make sure the juice is worth the squeeze, and we need to understand for our citizens what the environmental and energy impacts are.
And despite the governor's concerns about the proposed transmission line, all of this comes at a time when Governor Wes Moore is working to bring more data centers to the state.
Quantum is going to have a remarkable impact on the human condition, and its home is going to be right here in Maryland.
You can't say we're going to bring lots of data centers here for the investment, the jobs, and the whatever without the right infrastructure in place. And it's almost like they don't want to know.
Meaning landowners are still left feeling the consequences.
So it sounds like you're frustrated with state lawmakers and even the governor for even allowing this project to get to this point where we now have to have this federal hearing on whether or not PSEG can access.
And I know everybody throws their hands up. Oh, it's not me, it's not me. But it is me. I mean, it all starts with me.
In Baltimore, Jessica Babb, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.